Teaching Students to Know, to Care, and to Act by Gary Spardos. The assignment rundown. In this assignment, we will be looking at different pieces of wood carvings or craftsmanships from varying cultures and ethnicities. Once it's completed, we will split it up into two major parts, that being the in-class woodworking piece, which will take up a good amount of in-class time, and then second being researching the culture and ethnicities the piece comes from. The majority of this will be done at home. In-class woodworking piece. Students will come into class, hopefully, and start to do research on different wood carvings or pieces from around the world. This can be anything, literally anything. It can be jewelry, chairs, boxes, masks, statues, anything. Once a student has selected their woodworking piece of choice, they'll move on to creating their own version of that while keeping it related to the original piece, just because we need it to correspond somewhat. Students will have a flexible time period to complete this, seeing as though each piece will take different amounts of time. These are some examples I found that interest me. I saw wood carving from Brazil, a mask from Haitian folk history, a theater mask from Greece, a dragon head from Japan. I figured maybe we could make that into a box of some sort, and of a Native American wood carving of a coin, it looks like. Students are more than welcome to research and find carvings or wood pieces from anywhere around the world. The ones above are just examples, of course. Part 2, the not so fun part. Researching the culture and ethnicities of the student's choice. The activity. Students are to do some brief research into the background of the piece they selected. This does not have to be super in-depth, but I'd like to learn something, and I would like to see that you learn something as well. The goal of this is to educate the student doing the presentation and to educate the students listening to the presentation about the different cultures and ethnicities that was tied with the origin of the piece. This will hopefully get students to think outside of the box and to find interest into other cultures. How you will present this will be primarily up to you. Students may do a slideshow, write a paper, a poster board, and more, as long as they run it by me prior to working on it. This, I believe, will allow them to show their particular strengths while allowing them to feel more engaged in something they chose to do. This is the rubric for the project. Yes, I chose not to add a background because, rubrics are scary but good, and they need to be kept simple. Simplistic as it is, Students Wood Project, I just want to see that it has I want to see, a decent amount of cultural diversity. I want to see a lot of effort in the wood project, presentation and of the project and diversity behind it. I want to see everyone, staying on track, knowing what they're talking about, all that, and student self-reflection. I believe self-reflections give students a chance to be honest with themselves, and it's very easy points. Just do it and see what you deserve, and I will, base it off of what I believe, and as long as it's realistic, I'll give it to you. The alternative assignment. Now, I know wood carving doesn't seem like an interest to many of you. You may research and find inventions, building methods, types of wood structures, or crafting. You can even do a type of wood from a forest in Indonesia, anything. And maybe talk about what the groups of individuals used it for. As long as it stays connected with the original project at hand, I'm fine, and you can choose whatever you'd like. I just thought of an alternative assignment, and that would be the river table to the left. If I was doing this, I would want to make a river table. I would base it off of a river in Greece. It's called the Achelon. I kind of butchered the name there. Achelon River, and it was believed to be the Styx River, which is the river that runs through Hades. And I thought it was interesting if I incorporated that into a river table and then did a brief description of the background behind it. That is all. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.